Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel and to this new attempt at flying the Mosquito. I haven't flown for a long time already now, so I'm getting itchy to get out and fly. As you know, I don't have a real place to go and fly, so I find this field out on the outskirts, which is a bit small, but it has to do, right? So we'll do the best out of it. It's early in the morning, like 7 a.m. Sunday morning. -4, so it's cold, almost no wind, which is excellent. Cold and no wind is good. There's a bit of frost on the grass, which is not completely good, but I hope it's okay. I'm going to go to the other side of the field as it's so as not to film into the sun, because I suppose you can't see very much now. On the Mosquito, as you might see, it's got the new propeller hubs. The Mosquito has flown with limited success. I would say I could keep it up in the air, but now I have the new prop hubs and the new propellers, and I want to see if it'll also fly, and if not, let's see what I do about it. Let me do the setup and I'll get back to you. So the moment of truth, it took me a while to bind it. I did test it at home, but somehow on the field it didn't work. But the props do turn. There is some control authority, but not really very much, which is kind of my big fear, as the ailerons actually, they move very, very slightly. But let's give it a go. I think I'm going to point up the camera a little bit, because I'm hoping it actually flies. It is not a crash. Let's see what we get here. Strong throw. And almost full throttle, if not full. I lost power. It happened before, I think, on the Wellington. So it survived the hit. Battery heads came off, but that's okay. But somehow in mid-flight, like, it did feel a little bit tail heavy. So I could put a little bit weight in the nose. The elevator is already actually pointing down to compensate for that. But I lost power. And my theory is that I'm trying to pull too much voltage out of that ESC, which is made for one motor. And that's probably the problem, but I'll try to reconnect the battery. Let's see if I can get it, and let's see if it works. Try it once more. I've reconnected the battery. On the hit, the left motor has actually become a little bit loose, but I'm going to try it again, aren't I? Let's see. And this setup might not be good enough. These small motors I have. Let's give it another try. Again, it flew. Let me take you there. It was more of an assisted glide than anything else, not really a flight, and at least it did fall on its belly. But we can see that if number 1 motor was loose, now number 2 propeller has come off completely. So I think that's the end of the line for the flight of T for Tommy, at least for today. I need to rethink the whole thing, right? So anyhow, a short one, I'm afraid, this time. I hope to be back. So this is the section of damage control and future plans. So as you could see, it didn't fly. I'm a bit disappointed, because I was hoping that with the 3-bladed props it would actually have enough strength to hold itself in the air, but it didn't. Once, as you saw, I think the battery or the ESC gave up on it. Maybe it was cold, maybe that didn't help with the battery. I then did manage to fly with the P51 a little bit, and it didn't have the power that I'm used to having, so that could be an influence. But in overall, it was very sluggish. Even when I did get it to fly without the propeller hubs, it was really very sluggish. So a success that it did fly a couple of times, not a success that I can't get it to fly better and nicely. So there is some damage also to it, not much. Like I've got here the elevator somehow, I think, locked down. Maybe that's because when I took the battery out, it had the gyro on, so I don't know exactly why. I did damage also the landing gear, or even where, not the landing gear, but I think you can see it, this bit it's moving. It's not the first time that these things break. I'm not sure the same one or maybe the other side. So on one of those belly landings it did hook up and break. Not a big issue, could be fixed, but the question is it worth it, right? So I'm probably going to remove the landing gear. I might use it for some other project or something. Now I'm not going to scrap it, not right away at least. I'm going to put it into storage somewhere in a garage or somewhere where I hope that that time doesn't damage it too much, because I also need space at home for the other projects that I'm building, right? And this is indeed taking up some space. I also, the number one engine got loose with the first hit. It could still turn, it would still pull, but not really ideal. Plans for the future, the only thing I can think of is that I need to put in brushless motors, which are much more powerful, but I'm not on that level yet, right? I still struggle to build a single engine playing with brushless motors that actually flies. I've got a Cub that still hasn't flown, but basically the only solution that I see here is to pull out those motors, put in brushless motors, putting an ESC. I think I need an ESC for every motor. I need to figure out how to connect that. That's already very advanced for my level. I would also change then the control surfaces. I would putting a servo on each wing, because this way of transmitting the one servo movement to the ailerons is not really working very well. It's very limited. I would need to put in 2 more servos also for the tail surfaces. So I would actually need major reconstruction. Like I would need to pretty much cut it, take out what is here, try to put in new electronics and things like that. I think it might still work. It's a project for the future, but not at my level yet. So maybe something to revisit when I'm better off. So as I say, a little bit disappointed, but not altogether. I think it was a good effort with the Mosquito. Tea for Tommy did serve well. He's been decorating on top of a cupboard for quite a while, you can see by the dust. And I'm not giving up completely on it. I'm not going to break it or anything. I'm going to, as I say, put it into storage and hopefully at some point come back to it. Who knows when. In any case, as usual, thank you everybody for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.